What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Doc Holiday. We back with another HBCU OverDrive live show. HBCU tonight, as you may know, I was out and about Saturday, so I tried to do a pregame show at the fair. I did a little bit. My phone overheated, so basically I was out of commission for like a couple of minutes, and then it came back on. And y'all know what the deal was, so I kind of cut it short. Put on their halftime for Prairie View. Didn't too much do for Grambling because they were playing on the other side of the field. But other than that, I had a good day, had a good time. I got my guy Brian coming in to the stream. What's going on, my guy? What's going on?
How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So we're just gonna do. I missed on Monday. Sunday is my actual post game show. So I missed that Sunday. I was recovering from the weekend, and then Monday, it was supposed to be my weekend review. I missed that on Monday. So basically, I'm doing tonight. Gonna be doing two shows at once.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
What's that?
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. So we're gonna get that all squared away. So other than that, make sure y'all like the stream, comment, subscribe, become a member of the hottest HBCU show on YouTube right now. Make sure you become a member and like and comment and share with everybody that you know, because we're trying to get this going to new heights, and I see it going that way. Just get the people to get on board. But we're gonna start off with the weekend review, man. So we had some good games, week 5 in review. We had some good games this past weekend. I'm gonna get on my trusty phone because yes, I'm doing that, and I'm a reporter. But other than that, so we got a couple of games that was we had some games for both conferences, the MEAC and the SWAC. That was very interesting. So we're gonna start off with the first game is excuse me, y'all. I'm seeing like I'm out of breath. We're gonna start off in the MEAC. Let's start off in the MEAC. First game was South Carolina State versus South Carolina. In-state is not a rivalry, but in-state game. Basically, this game was supposed to be played on Saturday, moved up from Saturday to Thursday because of the impending storm that came through, Hurricane Ian. Basically, South Carolina State couldn't withstand the pressure. South Carolina, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Spencer Rattler, he had some pedestrian numbers, 21 to 27, 212, 2 TDs, 2 interceptions. Now, I will say this about SC State. They do have a formidable defense. They do have DBs that can actually cover it, that can actually make to create takeaways. But the thing about it is that it's their offense that doesn't click well. And you cannot be a starting Corey Fields, you cannot be a starting quarterback when your line is 4 13, 12 yards and 2 interceptions. That's not starting quarterback numbers. That's not starting quarterback numbers. That's not how you conduct an offense, really, with those numbers like that. I don't see them. I don't see if Coach Pugh is going to make the change of quarterbacks for this coming weekend because SC State does have FAMU this Saturday. You might see a actual quarterback change to Nick, to Tyrese Nick from Corey Fields. And he was pretty much offense last week against South Carolina. He basically had over almost 160 yards total offense, 63 yards passing, 95 yards rushing. So he kind of moved the ball the way that you wanted to move. You want to move the ball, but they couldn't get any type of scores. We talking about South Carolina being a SEC team, a middle of a pack SEC team. Basically, is they're not um, a formidable team like that because they're going to get the brakes beat off of them by Georgia and Auburn and Alabama. So I don't see them being a formidable team. But like I said before, take your money, go back. Take your money, go back to Orangeburg, lick your wounds, heal yourself, get ready for the next game against FAMU because that game it might not matter in the standings, but it matters when you look at the out of conference play. So we're gonna so you go back, like I said, go back and lick your wounds. The next on the list is Morgan State versus Virginia Lynchburg. Man, I'm coming out with Morgan State came out with a 44-10 victory. Um, Virginia Lynchburg, basically they couldn't move the ball not one time. They had exactly 200 yards of total offense for this game. Morgan State, Baker is the quarterback, 10 of 14, 160, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So as a team, they passed for 249 yards and ran for 115. So that's good numbers right there. What up, Los? What's up? You're looking at Morgan State making a come up after starting the season 0-2. So they beat who I forgot who they beat. I think they beat Sacred Heart or let me see. Let me get to their stand. They beat Sacred Heart. They came close to beating Tolson, which they could have won that game. So the status, this would have been their regular in their record doesn't indicate how they perform on the field. So basically, this team could be 3-1 if not for um, last minute heroics for Tolson State. But I see Morgan State being a force in the MEAC and giving a run for the money for South Carolina State and North Carolina Central. So I don't see them. I don't see them. I see them being like a formidable foe for the MEAC conference. Howard versus Yale. Yale comes out with the victory 34-26. Howard kept it close. Yale just started off. Hey, wifey. That's my wife in the chat. Howard started off slow. They kept themselves in the game. They could have won the game towards the end. Basically, it's still the quarterback play. Quentin Williams is going to throw you into games, and Quentin Williams is going to lose you games. So, you like I said, you got to decide what you're going to be, what your team is going to be, what is the makeup of your team. When you get ready to go into conference play. Next on the list is Sacred Heart versus Norfolk State. Now, this is the same Sacred Heart team that Morgan State beat 24-9. Norfolk State is having a lot of problems, and it's mainly offensively. This game came out to be a 31-14 contest in favor of Sacred Heart. Like I said, this is Norfolk State is 0-5. I don't know what the history is about that one, about them starting 0-5, but I know this makes some sort of history within a program, and I feel like they have to turn it up. They have to get something going when conference play start next week, or they're going to be in the doghouse, and Dawson Oden's going to be in the doghouse for real. Delaware State over Robert Morris 14-9. I still say Delaware State is basically having issues with their offense, but their defense is formidable. Their defense is basically, I won't say top notch, but their defense is up there with the with within the FCS ranks. Um, so Delaware State basically goes to 3-2 before they start the conference play. Um, there's a real interesting take about Delaware State when it comes to them, and it's basically they're going to be off for next week. They're going to be off next week, so I have to see. I'm trying to see when they play. They play Norfolk State, so they can make some noise in the conference. They can make some noise in the conference. Uh, the last game, which was the game of the day in the MEAC, was Campbell versus North Carolina Central. Campbell jumps out on Central early in the game. We are talking about a team, Campbell team that in previous past, um, uh, um, in previous past, they have not been over 500. And we're talking about a Campbell team that's a Big South team that has, like I said, that hasn't been over 500. And basically, with Coach Minter being at the helm and him getting the recruits in, this is the results that you get. As far as it goes, like I said, Campbell jumped out on Central early 10-0 in the first quarter. They upped that lead to 34-6 at halftime, and then they put the icing on the cake in the fourth quarter with 2 scores in the fourth quarter to make it 48-14. Central had no, I don't know, I wouldn't say they had no fight in this game, but they look pedestrian. When I was looking at highlights of that game. Central basically was being blown out the line by Campbell's defensive line, and then Campbell is obliterating Central's defensive line with that O line, and that O line is legit. And I heard, I talked about with Blue. That O line is super legit. It just, to me, they come into games and they are close in games, and basically they kind of die down towards the end of the games that they play. Other than that game when they played Bryant, that was probably the closest game that they played. That was probably the closest game that Campbell had played. And basically, what's that?
They seem like they're very committed to the run. The running back had 23 carries for 135.
Yep.
The quarterback, he had 8 carries for 46 yards or something like that.
Yeah, he's a dual threat quarterback, so he's more of a he's more of a thrower than a runner, but he can use his legs to get out of situations.
Yeah, and they, you know what I mean. It's just one running back was averaging 5.9 a carry. The other one was averaging 7.1. Yeah, like you were saying, their offensive line must have been dominant because they ran the ball efficiently. I see. Matter of fact, Blue had interviewed the coach after the game, and he said, with those big fellows up front, they just ran the ball, and you know what I mean. And South Carolina State just seemed like they couldn't stop them. They had no defense for it.
Yeah, they averaged that they totaled out 563 yards of total offense. So with them rushing for 315 of those yards, they basically they control the clock from the beginning to end, and that's what type of team that you need to have, and especially when they get ready to play Jackson State, you need an offense like that to control the clock, basically to keep Shador on the sideline, to keep that offense on the sideline. Because if you don't put if the offense is off the sideline and they get to the game, I don't see the type of defense that they have to keep up with the receivers that we have. Um, but like I said, we're gonna get down to that, and we're gonna make it. We're gonna get it to interest. It's gonna be an interesting game. So next on the list, we're gonna go into SWAC play. SWAC play. We gonna start out. Um, we're gonna start out with Bethune-Cookman versus Alabama A&M. Uh, Alabama A&M basically, like I said, they needed this game. They needed this game to win. I cannot tell y'all they needed this game because, like I said, they don't win it. They don't win any of these games before the Magic City Classic. That's it. And I understand people say that they signed Connor Almeida to an extension, but like I said, when you already out there and you basically dismiss what you there for, not just to win SWAC games, but to win football games, period. I don't want you to play for me. I don't want to play for you. But they needed this game. Oh my goodness, but Bethune, Jalen Jones was 24 of 38, 353 yards, and one touchdown. So he was basically a pocket passer. He did run the ball for 55 yards. So he basically had over 400 yards of total offense by himself for Bethune. And he basically kept them in the game throughout the whole game. Um, and basically he basically kept them in the game, which I like. They just didn't have enough at the end. Alabama A&M, Xavier Langford, 16 to 25, 204 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, and he also had 12 yards rushing. Eaglin, basically 27 carries, 190 yards, 2 touchdowns, 7 yards average per carry. So he was the workhorse for A&M, and basically you're looking at a team now. You have to change your philosophies. If you're Connor Manor, you're Alabama A&M, and you're known for having a top tier quarterback that you had in Akil Glass. But now you don't have that top. You don't have that top quarterback like you had before. But you got a running back that is a dog. You're going to have to rely on that running game. You have to change up your play calling and rely on that running game and basically keep your defense off the field because they still can't cover anything. Like I said, they gave up over 420 some yards total offense to Bethune-Cookman. You have to maintain a actual defense or you're going to die out there on the field as a defensive team. And we talk about Alabama A&M. They're not no defensive team. Just letting y'all know that. I'm just letting you know that. It all the people that's coming in, make sure you wipe your feet and like the stream. Hit that notification bell to get everything HBCU OverDrive. Become a member and subscribe to the hottest YouTube channel with HBCU content. Thank you. We got next on the list. We got Mississippi Valley versus FAMU. FAMU is on the road. This is basically what they did last season. They started off 0-2 and basically kind of went through the SWAC and swept everybody in the SWAC on their way to the FCS playoffs. Valley, you still have a quarterback, I like him, Jamari Jones. I like him. He had some decent numbers, but
Well,
he was getting
12 to 19 for 139. Valley's just it seems like to me like they're undermanned. They just don't have the necessary talent for the top tier teams in the SWAC, and especially in the SWAC East, FAMU, Jackson State. They seem like they play very well for one quarter, and and seem like they just run out of gas. You know what I mean? It's not that Coach Andrew's doing a great job with the talent that he has around them, but they just can't sustain that for 4 quarters.
Mm-hmm. And I agree with you 100%. Excuse me, I had to give me something to eat.
No worries.
But I agree with you 100% on that. That whoever they, you have to start out fast. And you see it, like I said, you see it with when you play teams like Jackson State, when you play teams like FAMU, even Prairie View, you have to start out fast because if you don't, these teams are going to jump on you from the beginning, and they're not going to let up.
Yeah, and it seemed like in that game they weren't even able to establish the run because when Johnson, he's a really good running back, but
Mm-hmm.
he just didn't seem like they established a running game. He had 10 carries for 54 yards. Whitaker had 3 carries for 28. You had one with a minus 1.3. So it just goes to show you just that their offensive front just can't establish the line of scrimmage, and you have to win the line of scrimmage, to get those big boys up front, to open up lanes, and play action pass and so on and so forth. But they just couldn't do that against FAMU.
Right. And then we got FAMU with the passing, Jeremy Musa. Musa is basically as advertised. Not even gonna front, not even gonna lie. 26, 45, 291, 2 touchdowns, no interception. That's the best thing that's going for him is not turning the ball over because he has had happened to make sure he turns the ball over. Um,
If you give him time, he can pick you apart.
yeah, he can pick you apart. And I feel like when they played the first game against Jackson State, on because you played the game before. You played against North Carolina. They seen what you was going, so what you was doing, what your tendencies were, and they exploited it. So, um,
And North Carolina didn't have the defense that Jackson State has. You know what I mean? North Carolina, their defense is like Swiss cheese. You can run right through that. They're terrible. They're terrible.
said
For especially
FAMU sweep. He said FAMU sweep the SWAC again. That would be an embarrassment to the conference because it would show that the conference didn't improve at all despite the hype.
That's me,
I,
Mike, for you.
I mean, I can't really say, because we can, just they could have a slip up. They can have a hiccup in conference. You just don't know. You just don't know. And then you got to play tiebreakers and who goes to the championship and then who goes to the playoffs. Sometimes you don't want to go through all that, but you have to go through that in order for you to know what's up. That is true. That is true. That is true. He said that means that Florida A&M, outside of losing the Jet State record in conference, will be 16-2. But Mike, we still need to have FAMU to actually win because that that solidifies your conference right there. You need FAMU to be winning. You need Jet State to be winning. You need Sutter to be winning. You need Alcorn to be winning. You need Grambling to be winning. And if Grambling ain't winning, you need PV to be winning. So you got, what I'm saying? You got to have these teams. And I'm not even saying PV is a blue blood, but you got to have, you got to have at least one dark, what I'm saying? One dark one, I would say dark match, basically to a wild card, which is PV, because they're not a blue blood, but if they keep winning like they are, then they're gonna become one. Um, and I'm looking at FAMU, 400 yards of total offense, which is good. That's good. You need that. That's saying that your offense is clicking, and then that's also saying that your defense is on point, and they're not out there all day on the field. You know what I'm saying, on long sustained drives. So that's the thing, and I still say it to this day. I hate seeing they defense just rushing forward and then everybody's playing back. I hate that. Y'all got to bring, like I said, you got to bring some sort of blitz, some sort of stunt, what rush. You got to have something.
No, FAMU, their defense is very vanilla. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's, they haven't changed. You know, it seemed like they should make better adjustments. You know, but they didn't. They didn't adjust the first game against JSU. It seemed like they just don't adjust. They just go in with the basic front four. You know what I mean? Setting the front four up, and hopefully Land's going to do his thing, and to get to the quarterback. But if he's blocked, they don't have success.
right. And then next on the list, we got Texas Southern versus Alabama State. Alabama State comes out with a convincing win, 16-13. Texas Southern, you still need to learn how to hold on to leads. And when you're up, you got to be up. You know what I'm saying? You're up 13-6 and towards the end of the third quarter, and you don't have that type of. You got to have that type of offense to be able to put your foot on people's necks. No pun intended. We're not gonna get into that, but you got to be able to put your foot on. Got to be able to beat them out. And when it comes to all four, you got to do it all 4 quarters. You can't do a first quarter, then you take a break in the second, do in the third, and take a break in the fourth. You can't do it like that. You have to be able to have a score output from the start to the finish. We looking at numbers. Demetrius Davis, 9-19, 104 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, which that was good because he's been prone to turn the ball over as far as fumbling. Santo Dunn, 15 carries for 101 yards. Howell, 16 for 75. Uh, Demetrius Davis, 9 for 30. Ja'Cory Merritt, 11 for 19. So they basically ball control this game.
What happened
They
to your boy?
basically they basically ball control the whole game.
What
Only
happened
thing,
to Andrew Body?
and Andrew Body, man, 9-19 and 95 yards. That is pedestrian. That's pedestrian. And even his people, even my she'll tell him that's pedestrian. Like you have to you have to open up that playbook. You gotta open up that playbook. Like it's irritating the fact that you got a dynamic quarterback and Andrew Body, but you're not utilizing him in a way that he can be.
If he's what they say is, then they're definitely not using to his full potential.
Yeah,
Because
I feel
what
like they're not using to the full potential.
because he was named pre what's second team for the SWAC as quarterback behind Shador, and
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. He had some good games. He played well, but I really thought they would beat State. I really thought they would beat Alabama State. You know what I mean? The way they were on a roll, I thought Texas Southern would definitely beat them.
And I'm about to say, ooh, don't get me started on Alabama State because I'm gonna get into that on HBCU tonight. um, so my guy, me at Mike said he calling it. He's saying Morgan State's gonna win the conference.
The coach from Morgan State, he's got them playing great ball up there.
Yeah, yep, he got him playing great ball up there, and that's with him not having no recruiting because he came in late. He came in the summertime. Like if he would have came in like December or January, it'd have been a whole different story because he'd have had a whole recruiting class with him.
I think with Morgan State, what happened was a lot of people were hoping for Ray Lewis or the safety
And Reed,
Ed Reed to coach up there because it's involved near in Maryland, right? So they
right?
were hoping for that. But this coach is doing a phenomenal job.
Oh yeah, he is doing a phenomenal job, and I give him all the props for it too. Um, So we got Pine Bluff versus Southern. Southern comes out with another big win, 59-3 to Pine Bluff. Uh I don't even have the stats for this game. Um Basically, we try to figure out what Southern is. What type of team is Southern? Are you a run team? Are you a passing team? Are you a team that likes to go, or are you trying to ball control? What type of team are you? Dooley, what type of team do you have? Because we've seen the same thing that you did at Prairie View, and you said you use basketball on grass, which y'all do. You know you do have some sort of concepts of what it is, being a fast type offense, but what are you? Um, I don't have no stats for it, but
Well, I have some stats here. McCray, he was 14 for 18 for 241.
okay,
Then after McDaniel came in, just 4 for 7 for 57. You have Rhymes, he carried the ball 10 times for 80 yards, average 8.0, 8 yards of carry, 2 TDs.
mm-hmm.
McCray ran for 8 times, 79 yards, 9.9 average. He had
Okay,
one TD. So, and yeah, and the other guys too, 11 carries for 33 yards. So there, it was a good mix. It seemed like it was a good mix of 50-50 as far as passing and rushing the ball.
and I'm calling it this Southern versus Prairie View. That is this week's game of the week, right? For this coming weekend. Um, so I will be doing a pregame show, but we still doing the I Love Fridays. And I will preview Jackson State on Friday. Um, we talk everything about Jackson State. Then we got the State Fair Classic, Grambling versus Prairie View. I was at this game, everybody. I'm letting you know. I was at this game. Huh. Where can I start? Uh, it was hot outside. Sun was coming down. Um, Grambling still playing without the G on their helmets.
They didn't think to take the G off their football jersey the way they're playing.
Uh, so yeah, they were playing with the G off the helmets, and I'm gonna be with Coach Hugh on this. I'm gonna be with Coach Jackson on this. To me, you got to earn the G. You got to earn it. Now I done heard some people, that was close inside of the program that they said they felt like that some of the players on the team are basically doing solos. They try to play. I guess they're playing for themselves and not playing for each other, not playing for the team, and trying to do their own thing. So, um, I hope that is not true. But like I said, I heard rumors about that. Um, but I mean not FAMU, but Grambling is a shell of itself.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but Doc, if some of the players are playing for themselves or they're playing individual, that has to fall on the coach
Yes.
because performance dictates leadership. And you know what I mean. I love Hugh Jackson. I think he's a great coach, a great offensive mind. But I'm going to give him a pass because he's only been there less than a year as far as the first class recruiting. Next year will really tell the tale. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because sometimes you just recruit. You're trying to get the best talent available, but sometimes it's not the best talent. You got to have the character. That's why in JSU, you know what I mean. They have you have to have character. You know,
Yeah.
and you can have all the talent in the world, but if you have a guy that doesn't have character, he can upset the whole apple cart.
Yeah. So this game, Prairie View just jumped all over them from the beginning. This game, Prairie View jumped all over from the beginning. If nobody did watch, it was on HBCU Go TV. I commend them for being at the game because this is the first time ever. What up, Rusty? This is the first time ever that this classic has been shown on TV, on some sort of TV broadcast. So I think HBCU Go TV for being there. What I've heard from people that the quality of the production, the audio, the video, the breaking into the commercials, everything, everything that we didn't see from the Southern Heritage Classic that you saw on Saturday, it was A1. A1. So I commend them. I commend HBCU Go on that. Um, but what I'm not gonna commend is Grambling playing like crap. Um, Basically Prairie View just jumped out and it started out slow early in the game on in the first quarter. And the second quarter, they let the floodgates open. They returned had a they returned it fumble for a touchdown, and the running back ran for like 30 yards for a touchdown. Yeah. They would let the floodgates open and did not look back. Now in the third quarter, they kind of let them into the game. I don't know what was going on. They kind of let them into the game. Um, and it's crazy because Quintarius Hawkins didn't even play the whole game. Uh, Hugh Jackson switched out uh, Hawkins for Julian Calvez. And Julian Calvez basically led them on a scoring drive. So,
Five for 13, 82 yards, one touchdown, one interception.
and then he also had 7 of 34 on the ground, and he had the other touchdown. Yeah, he basically put them on the back. He tried to get them to be competitive in this game. Um, and basically they couldn't do it. They couldn't get it. They couldn't get it done. This is a total team effort, Grambling. You have to have total team effort. If you don't have total team effort, you're gonna be lost. You're gonna lose. You're gonna keep losing. You're gonna keep losing. And then what's gonna happen is y'all gonna look back and sit back and be like, damn, we should not even hire Hugh Jackson. Well, who should you have hired then? Oh, we should have went after the regular names, or Ray Lewis, or we should have went after. Hell, you could have went after Dooley, but we already knew the writing on the wall. Dooley was going to going to Southern. That was a no brainer. Um, but Conley came back to play. He is from Duncanville, so he came back home to play. He was 9 of 16, 56 yards. He didn't have no touchdowns and no interceptions, but that's still abysmal numbers for a starting quarterback. But he played ball control offense. You know what I'm saying? He played ball control offense. They ran for 233. They had 2 touchdowns on the ground, and basically all the other scores was from defense. They were from defense. And like I said, Prairie View has a stifling defense that I don't think nobody can kind of get past right there. Grambling also didn't have Maurice Washington either. So from what from what I heard too, he should be back this week against Alabama A&M. I think that's the game that they play next. Yeah, Alabama A&M. He should be back again for that game, but they miss him, and he's a dynamic playmaker. They need him on the field, and they need to get their quarterback situation fixed before they play. Before Grambling played Texas Southern, and also before they play Southern. Because you got to look at it. They still got a schedule where they still got to play Alcorn too and FAMU. So they got to get that quarterback situation fixed before they play those teams right there. If it's not fixed by the time you get to Southern, to the Bayou Classic, Just just wipe your hands clean, start all over, and you got to go out there and recruit a QB, an actual QB that can actually fit the offense. Second of all, and I'm gonna get on this too. Second of all, John Simon should not be your offensive coordinator, Grambling. That offense looks so pedestrian. I'm out there, bro. I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm out there. Me, my wife, my mother, we watching the game. I'm out there. I'm looking at. Oh, they about to run the ball. They about to pass the ball. You could just tell just by the type of formations and how the quarterback was that offense is predictable.
But you think Hugh Jackson would call the plays?
I would want Hugh Jackson to call the plays. And then now and now, Mr. Campbell, you gonna hear me out right here. You gonna hear me out right here. Grambling gonna go back and say, "Damn, we should not let our Browns go."
Well, you know what? You must have read my mind because I know there was a lot of heat, concerning when he was at Baylor and stuff like that, and understand, the peer pressure, council culture that's out there right now. But uh, they had a choice when they made that decision to hire Art Browse. They knew that there was going to be a backlash. They should have either said, you know what, we'll stay in the backlash and kept him,
Kept him.
or didn't try to hire him at
You
all. One or the other.
and,
You can't do one in the back away.
and just think about this. They already got backlash because they hired a volleyball coach that was abusing the players from the other schools that she was at, and it caught up to her. And when she did the taking
She took
away
away
the
all the
scholarship,
scholarships, didn't she?
right? It caught up to him. So my whole thing is on this note, Grambling, you kicking your own self in the ass, and you should have thought about like, damn, we should not let these people talk us out our brows leaving the program. What else,
You
Spence?
see,
You should have kept Art Browns as your OC. That's the least you could have done. Now, if he would have stayed one season, and if he couldn't get it done in one season, hey, then you got to cut bait with him. But to have John Simon as your offensive coordinator, and he really is not too much of an offensive coordinator because he's more of a running backs wide receivers coach. Nah, nah, nah. If it was me, if I were Grambling, hell, I would have went down the road and went to Jackson and got TC Taylor as an offensive coordinator. And that's true. Yeah, I understand that, Mr. Cam. I understand that. But it still, to me, it still would have been at least you could have found a quarterback. He could at least. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, like Art Browns is. You can say he can develop a quarterback, but he really wasn't a developer of quarterback. The offense, what I'm saying, the offense developed the quarterback because it's not your typical you know, pro style offense. This is more of a spread veer option offense that he ran at Baylor and at Houston. And hell, when he was at Tech, he was an offensive coordinator at Tech. He did the same thing. He did when he was a head coach at high school at Stephenville here in Texas. He did the same thing. Um, but he could make an average quarterback look at least decent though, and I can't fault him for that. I can't fault him for that.
what about the quarterback that signed up for Grambling at the beginning of the year, then he transferred out?
I don't even know about that. The one that they had that came in from UCLA, that transferred from UCLA, he was not that good, and so
No.
they made him
That-
into a receiver. What up, Sean? What up? Yeah, they made him to a receiver. So Uh, that's the review for the weekend. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to do it on my usual days because I was still recovering from Saturday from being at the game and at the fair. Um, so we're gonna go into HBCU tonight. So my thing about this for HBCU tonight, man, I'm gonna talk about basically I'm gonna talk about basically two things. I'm gonna talk about what I saw at the State Fair Classic with my own eyes, as usual, and then also gonna talk about how can we improve the game, the game fan experience in HBCU football. Um, particularly, particularly in the SWAC. So, um, I see what Art runs a power spread, but you have to have a quick QB that knows how to make checks and know the option game is in when to hand off at versus RPO. And I don't see that player on Grambling roster. Yeah, that is true. I don't see nobody else until they get an actual quarterback that can come in and be able to do all that. But I don't see it. Um, Saturday, like I said, I was at the State Fair Classic. If you haven't done it by now, make sure that you wipe your feet, like the stream. Make sure that you hit that become a member of the Live is Hottest HBCU show on YouTube right now. Hit that notification bell. It get everything HBCU OverDrive. Whenever I make a show, or if you're on Twitter or on Instagram or even on Facebook, I put all my I put all announcements out on everything um on all platforms to let everybody know that I have a show coming up or when I will go on, on live and stuff like that. So let's get this thing going. Let's get the algorithm, the algorithms going. Let's make sure that we can get everything. We're shooting for 400 subscribers. We're shooting for 400 subscribers right now, and then after that, we're gonna shoot for 500, and then we're gonna go up from there. But uh, back to the story. One at the game, all the pageantry. It's a classic. Everybody, this is not no regular SWAC game. This is a classic. This game has been played since 1929. So this is not no ordinary this is not no ordinary game right here. This game has been played for over almost 100 years um between these two schools. But we talking about the fan experience. My wife never been to a State Fair Classic. That was her first time going. She enjoyed herself and everything, but I also told her, like, look, you got a pregame concert at like around 4:15. Ashanti with her fine self, she was there, but my wife is finer than that. All right, just let everybody know, so she won't try to shoot me down or shoot. But um, yeah, Shanti was the pregame, concert. Then you got all the high school bands that won their division and participated in the battle of the bands from earlier in the day. So they come in, they do a little performance, and then like I said, it's a whole you got the whole shebang out there. Um Then you go, Prairie View marching in. I only come for the game. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I only come for the game. I don't come for none of that other stuff like that. Other than the bands too, because like I said, I'm a sports fan, but I'm a football fan, but I'm also a band head. So y'all just gotta bear with your boy right there. I ain't get that chance to play those type of sports in high school. I was a band head, I was a band nerd, so don't 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 crucify me. Uh, but just see all the bands marching in. Then you have invocation, the prayer by Dr. Freddie Haynes from Friendship West Baptist Church. Hey, That man is the truth. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Y'all already know how he is. Y'all already know how he get down. He ain't no he ain't got no beer in his blood about him. Um um Powerful prayer and everything. Uh just just the whole night before the game. Then the game starts. Uh Everything was going live. And it was so cool because I haven't seen like this game, I haven't seen nobody go up into the upper tier, the upper part of the stadium since like the late 90s, 2000s. Like before they even like before they expanded the Cotton Bowl to its present seating capacity of 92,000. um I haven't seen nobody in there. And it's, we're not gonna feel a, nobody don't want to fill a stadium like that. But game was good. The game was good. Like I said, I liked the game. I loved it. I love the game. Like I said, I sit there and watch the game, listen to the band, see everything, all the pageantry and stuff like that. But then, here's the whole thing. Halftime comes. Halftime comes, and Prairie View, who was the away team, they goes on first. They do what they do. Then Grambling goes on second because they was the home team. Remember, this is a neutral site. This is a classic game. So, Grambling was the home team at the time. They do what they do. So once them bands march off the field, you see everybody take their happy ass up them stairs to get out there to the fair. So it went from 54,000 probably to about maybe 30,000 within 5 minutes. And this has been going. I'm gonna tell y'all this. This has been going on for a long time. Remember, everybody, history lesson, and it, like Mr. Campbell, you in here, you know about the history lesson about Prairie View. Prairie View, when they won their last game in 1989 was against Mississippi Valley State. After that game right there, they went 0-80. 0-80. Before they won a game against Langston in 1998. It took them 10 years to win a game. So each time they play this game, everybody shows everybody got it's a fashion show out there, Brian. I'm telling you, it's a fashion show out there. Everybody got their hair done. All the dudes got their cuts, they got their fades and stuff like that. Everybody got their good clothes on. You buying merchandise, Grambling, you buying merchandise, Prairie View and stuff like that. All the all the squares and the stars and the fraternity and sororities getting their stuff in, you know what I'm saying? But they there for the first and second quarter and halftime. After that, they leave at third quarter. I have a problem with that because I used to go with my uncle and my aunt. My aunt graduated from Prairie View, and she was there when they won their last game, and then they went on their loser streak. And she graduated from Prairie View in 1991. So I moved in with my uncle. When I was 11. So when I was 11, he took me to my first state fair class. And I'm looking at everything because the other thing I seen on TV was the Bayou Classic, Grambling and Southern. We get there, we see everything, man. And I'm talking about, bro, it was before, like I said, this is before they expanded the Cotton Bowl. It was packed. It was 63,000 people in the stadium, both sides, jam packed. Couldn't find a seat in the house. You thinking that Prairie View was gonna do something that year, and then you like, well, wait till next season. And these tickets ain't cheap. These tickets ain't cheap because you get these tickets, man. You get these tickets for. I paid $32, right, for tickets. Me and my wife's ticket. Um, that's to get you in the game. That's to get you in the fair, first of all, and then to get you in the game. So it's like a bundle for just for that day right there, right? And you buying all this stuff, buying food, buying your merchant, buying paraphernalia and everything, and then at the third quarter you leave out. Like you spend all that money, and then I mean, most people they go out there, they go to the fair because the fair is actually going on during the game, but it's like you spent all your money just to go for 2 quarters, and that's it. And I have a problem with that. Like
Yeah, I
now,
agree with you totally.
like now, let me see what said. The black broke experience keep up with the other broke people wearing designer they can't afford. That's true. That's true. Try to keep up with the Joneses. So now you gotta understand Prairie View's not in that situation anymore. They won. They've been winning. They made hell of improvements from the late 90s and the early 2000s. Hell, they won the SWAC in 2009. And you got people still doing the same thing, like going for first and second quarter, and going for the first half and halftime, and then leaving out in the third quarter. And your team, like literally, your team is good. And they did the same thing last year. Your team was good. Your team went to the SWAC championship game. The team was this close to beating Jackson State last season and going to the Celebration Bowl.
But are they there for the team, or are they there for more of the other festivities?
They was there for more than just for the festivities. It's not to me. Sorry, y'all. It's not. We going for the football game. Like I said, I grew up in a football house. So, my mom, my granny, and my uncles, cousins, we all football fans. We all Cowboy fans, be exact, basically. But no, the $32, the $32 is not. It wasn't too much. It's not too much. I like that because it's a deal. They there for the festivities. They not there to watch the actual game. And the ones that they're there to actually watch a game, they stay all the way up to the end. It don't leave shit. They stay there for fifth quarter. And fifth quarter probably take about 30, 45 minutes to do. But my whole thing is we got to get out that. You got to get that out your head. That your team is still trash. It's still the same Prairie View. It's not. It's not. I don't know how many TV fans I have on my channel, but your team is good. Your team has a chance to repeat as Western Division champs in the conference. So you need to be there to support your team. And here's the thing. And we all can get on there. And Sean, I'm gonna let you come in if you want to. But we all there. It's just the fact that you gotta believe, you gotta believe that, in your team. You gotta believe in your squad. If you have some sort of faith in your team,
But if you go to a game like you're saying, Doc, go for at least the whole game. You know what I mean? It's you know what I mean. It's not about the money. If you're there to support, this is what Coach Prime was talking about. people leaving and say, how do they want us to for the SWAC to have big television contracts when all of a sudden people are leaving and the stands are half empty? And
a lot of people, and I'm gonna tell you, if people watch their game on Saturday, a lot of people will see what I'm talking about. But they will see what I'm talking about. It said a football game was a concert, it'll sell out. Yeah. And it feels at PWI schools, they turn up, and they do. And like I said, you'll see what I'm talking about. If you watch that game on TV, football is the experience, not the pageantry. That's why I don't really like the classic games. The classic games take away from the actual experience of being there to watch a football game. If this game was at Prairie View's campus, how many people gonna be there? They have a 16,000 seat stadium. How many people gonna be at that game? How many people from Grambling are gonna travel to Prairie View to go to that game? Not a lot. And just Prairie View has a big ass alumni base in Houston and Dallas. Grambling has an alumni base that's huge in Dallas. Huge. But they only go for 3 games. Grambling do. They go for the State Fair Classic, Homecoming, and the Bayou Classic. Prairie View, they only come for 3 games. The Labor Day Classic, State Fair Classic, Homecoming. They're not coming out for nothing else. They're not coming out for nothing else. What up, Sean? Uh-oh. Can you hear me? But they not coming for nothing else. And it waters down the experience of a football game. That's the thing I don't like right there. You water down when y'all do when we do stuff like that, we water down the experience of a football game. Cause you never know. You would have never know. Grambling could have came back and made the game damn near interesting and would have won that jump.
All right, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, peace. What I was saying, black people only like concerts and church, man. If the football game was, you know what I'm saying, was the halftime show, it would have stayed packed. 4 quarters of band play. But nah, realistically, people are not in tune with sports the way that PWI schools are in tune with sports. Football set the precedence for the rest of the athletic departments and teams to usher in the school year. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important for the football players because when you got a crowd behind you cheering you on and you know you done did something right or you down or something like that, man, they inspire you to go out there and keep going. Even when the, you know what I'm saying, you down on your luck. The thing about black people is we sit on our hands and we wait for the big play. We're just used to the big play. We can't just be it can't be a classic thing. Cause like you said, it's true. Like when you hear classic, everybody there. Yeah, because it's a fashion show. It's a fashion show. The dudes know where the girls gonna be.
Yep.
And the girls know the dudes gonna be there.
Yep.
And everybody gonna show out. It's gonna be crazy.
Yep.
And you know what I'm saying? They only gonna watch so much, and then they up out of there. You know what I mean? They there for you still got people that are there for the bands.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And until we usher in football as the priority,
right,
it's gonna remain that way for a lot of schools. one thing about Jackson State, they have an advantage because they don't have professional teams in their state. You know what I'm saying? Like but everybody that show up to a HBCU football game, they ain't going to Dallas or Houston to watch a football game. They ain't at the NBA. You know what I'm saying? They're not at the Houston Rockets or the Dallas Mavericks or San Antonio. They ain't at none of them like that. If they attend a PWI, they end up at a HBCU game for the classics.
Mm-hmm.
But they might go to a few of their football games and that mug just super dump packed. Yep. So, man, it's a tough conversation to have because you want that support. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. I look at it like this: when you first introduce your kid to football, Pee-wee, that's one of the most jam-packed places ever. You have both parents there of the kid. And maybe even some additional relatives. And that's like 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 extra people per family at the game to watch that kid play. Mm-hmm. That same support that you had for Pee Wee football when you first introduced your son to that is the same support your son need when they playing college football. The same support. And they want their family there, people that seen them play, to cheer them on, to have a section. But the fan base should grow because now it's a female that you're involved with. They parents know that y'all are involved with each other. So now the female and their parents is there. Yep. And now it's, you know what I'm saying? Now you moving the needle a little bit because now it bleeds down to their friends. And then, you know what I'm saying? Everybody else. But the football experience has to be the winning ticket. Yep. And like you said, Prairie View winning, it should have been more Prairie View people in the building. But you said to see what you saw, well, Scotty had it on his screen today when he was going over the plays that Grambling was running. Mm-hmm. When the game started, it was 54,000 or 53,000 people in the stands.
Yeah.
But when the score was 27-0, and Grambling driving to get their first touchdown, you see that the stadium had a rim around it. You know what I'm saying? Like a drink. Like it looked like a clear glass or water that was almost gone. It was, you know what I'm saying? Like a third of a cup of glass of water left in there. You just need to go on and just sip it and knock it on out. But what if Grambling would have made that out a game late in the fourth quarter and then they were only down 7?
Right. And people, it like when you leave out of the game and it's not over and you be like, well, who won the game? I'm going to tell you just like this, Sean and Brian. Most people mindset when it comes to this game, they be like, oh, shit, Grambling won because they've always seen Grambling win. We're talking about you're talking about shit that happened 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be 43 on Saturday. We talking about shit that happened 30 years ago when I was 11, 12 years old, 13. That every year they play in school, they get their head knocked in. But I'm like, no, you got to go and watch the game. Go back. Like, my whole thing is go back to your school, to your alma mater. And I ain't talking about to go there for homecoming. You know what I'm saying? Or for some other classes that's at your home stadium. I'm talking about just go there and watch a game and you make, you know, you come up with your own assessment of the team that the school that you went to, and if you're an alumni and you donate your money to their school. And you be like, oh, shit. They actually are playing, you know what I'm saying? They actually playing good. They actually playing, you know what I'm saying? They got a strong enough team.
Right.
But if you had that mindset to where shit, it's Grambling versus Prairie View. We already know Grambling going to win. Oh, you don't know that. No, you don't know that.
But I think, you know what I mean? You gentlemen hit it on the head. if the main thing is not the main thing, if they prioritize, you know what I mean, going getting their lace fronts done and getting a nice fade to haircut like a fashion show, then it's never about the football game. So if it's not the main thing, it's going to be the main thing. If you're going to support your team through wins, losses, whatever diversity that they have, you got to support your team. And this is what I think Sean hit it on the head too, because it's got to change the mindset. The mindset has to be changed, because I know when my son was playing any sport, football, baseball, or hockey, you know what I mean? Me and my wife went, his sister went, then my in-laws went, and as he went up in the ranks, we all went to his game, started traveling to go see him play. And then after, when he got involved with the young lady, then parts of her family went to see him play. You're 100% right, Sean.
And Sean, you already know you went to Jackson State too, right?
Nah, I went to TSU, Tennessee State.
To where?
Tennessee State.
Tennessee State. But okay, now, but if you seen it like this, right? Tennessee State. We played Jackson State, Tennessee State. That's a classic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody out there, you know what I'm saying? Y'all go from Nashville to Memphis, 4-hour drive. We come from Jackson, that's 3-hour drive.
Mm-hmm. It's about the same, 3 hours for each one.
Right. But
yeah,
when we there, do we even think about leaving at the third quarter?
Hell no.
Because we stand there watching the whole game.
It's the whole game. Yeah, that's one of the classics that have you're there for the whole game.
That's one of the few classes. That classic, Bayou Classic, even the Labor Day Classic. If you really think about it, like Labor Day Classic, like those are the classes that you pretty much stay for the whole game. Like you do not get up for that. You don't get up at third quarter.
But there's an opportunity here for making people stay too for the whole game. If they had some kind of draw that would the winning number would only be drawn after the fourth quarter, people would stay.
Now, some people would be like, "No, I ain't gonna win it," because it's the but it's the mind. But Sean, I'm telling you, it's the mindset. Some people like, well, it's the mindset like, I'm not gonna win this, so why I'm gonna stay here for the whole game if I know I ain't gonna win this damn money.
They ain't going to heaven. They ain't going to heaven, but they stayed at the whole church service.
Yeah.
If we just want to use a real logic, you ain't. Don't care how you cut it up or shape it or none of that. You ain't getting in there. You know what you was doing last night.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not a religious. I'm not into that or anything like that. But I don't frown upon it. But I understood it because of my background and where I come up from. But to be honest, you know what you did last night. You ain't getting in there.
You ain't getting in there.
So here's my thing. I think that so we know what the problem is. It's support and it's endearing support. But what happens is, and I'm going to tell you this, and I want to use Jackson State as an example. Okay. If Jackson State opens the doors and integrates it in a way that there's more whites attending that school, right? Because they want to be a part of the Jackson State experience and the successes that it has, and the floodgates open up. The gaming atmosphere changes.
Now that leads to the second thing I want to talk about, the game experience.
Yes.
Game experience.
It changes because now you got 15,000 white people on top of 30, 40, 50,000 black people. Now you have a full stadium full of blue and white. Mm-hmm. And these people don't know none of the things, but they're going to work so hard to learn this stuff so that they could fit right on in and be a part of the entire experience. But on third downs, they're going to be the loudest.
Yep.
But that's going to start rubbing off on other people. And when that starts to rub off on other people, the experience enhances and increases. You don't what you want to do is you want to create an unsafe environment for an away team. Yep. Meaning if they come into the game on third downs, when you hear that everybody go ape crazy.
Yep.
You hear defense loud as I don't know what on those downs, and you rock the stadium. So you got to take people on a field trip. I'm gonna tell you one of the best places to take people on a field trip is in the SEC. Yep. You take them on a field trip to SEC schools and you see how it's going. But I'm gonna take it a step further. Go to Knoxville.
I've been to Knoxville.
Have you been to a UT Vols game?
I've been to the UT. I've been to a Tennessee Florida game. Yes.
All right. So there you go. It don't get no greater. 110,000 people yelling at the same freaking time. 65,000 of them are drunk.
Joel is.
But they watching the game and they going crazy.
Yep.
It's one of the toughest places to play, bro. Just like Penn State, Death Valley. Just go on over to Auburn. Just go right on into the Auburn. It's the tough. That's why they got Death Valley. That's why LSU, no matter their record, is one of the hardest places to play. You got all these people pouring down on your team. You can't even get the call in. You done messed up a call with a receiver. He running a shallow crossing. You needed him on a dig. The whole experience is messed up. When black people can do that type of stuff, man, we'll be able to progress the game, bro.
It's crazy because if you really think about it, most of those stadiums that the SEC stadiums that you have, bro, they have been upgraded or renovated or demolished and started all over or something like that, and they build it to where they are on top of you. Like if you go to, for example, Kyle Field over at College Station, Texas A&M. I remember when Kyle Field was not what it was before then, but they had the running track and it was just two sides, but it was 3 tiers on both sides, and they are on top of you. And then when they decided, oh yeah, we're gonna expand the whole stadium, we're gonna close out both sides and put bro, it's all like it's literally like they're literally standing on top of you. Like when you like you said, it's on third down, they are literally yelling in your ear. Like it feel like they are down there on the field yelling in your ear, like, motherfucker, you gonna miss this pass.
Bro. The stadium shakes.
Yeah.
You got 70, 80,000 people stomping on them bleachers. The stadium is shaking. It's vibrating. And the field, it look crazy. The cameras can't even be still.
Right.
Everything moving. Everybody throwing something. Got them cowbells. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, my gosh, man. Them in Mississippi State with them bells.
Oh, yeah.
They the worst.
Here, like I said, because me being here in Texas, with because I'm with basically close to the Big 12, like another stadium that has that type of experience, bro. Go to Lubbock, where Texas Tech at. Go to Lubbock. Basically, before Jordan McGuire got over to Tech, and when they had all them other horrible coaches, when Mike Leach was over at Tech, like they literally. Those people is crazy. Hey Brian, I'm telling you, they would throw tortillas out there on the field when they scored a touchdown.
Jeez.
And it's like
I can see that.
For real, it's 60,000 people throwing tortillas out on the field. It's like you going to a hockey game, you going to a Detroit Red Wings game, and you scored they score a goal. They throwing out the octopus on the ice.
Yeah, it was definitely crazy in Detroit.
Yeah, that's how it is. Like they are enamored in a tradition. That's a tradition. And I understand what Coach Prime said. We don't have too much of tradition. We have a culture.
That's it. That's all HBCU is. A culture is not a tradition, because a tradition you would pack that out to support in honor of tradition, and everything you would enumerate. Everything would be commemorated. Every game would be commemorated. The big moments, those You had to be there to see it.
Yep.
You know, all of those things. But to be perfectly honest, what happens is when you have a dominating football program, and I know many people saying, well, you want to see competitive football, yada yada yada, but you have to think about it. When you're trying to pack your stadium out,
Yep.
you gotta dominate.
That's
People
why
want to be a part of domination because they chest stick out a little bit further. So what happens is you get if Mo Williams can get the men's basketball team just competitive enough to get through SWAC and potentially threaten for NCAA tournaments, along with the women's basketball program,
we
and
gonna
the
be on.
football team is rolling how it's rolling. What you do now is you set a precedence of excellence for your school that drives your enrollment up, that increases other opportunities for people, and you're going to get other fans. But here's the thing. Last year, I was at the game, the Texas Southern game, when the Ole Miss fan, I think they was on a bye week, drove down.
Yeah, I seen that. I remember that one.
And he came to the game.
And he was interested in the whole game from start to finish.
Come on. He shared his experience.
Yep.
If that happens, where you start to get 5,000 or 10,000 people like that, just to come in and support like that,
yep,
they don't want to see that. So the next best thing, I'm talking about the other people that don't really want to get that involved. You got to get Prime up out of there. That's too much attention, because what happens is you start to develop Jackson. Now you need more off-campus apartments.
Yep.
Now real estate is going up a little bit. There's more value there. What Jackson State has is an opportunity to increase the real estate in itself and around itself, which provides opportunities for the experience to explode. Right now, they're on the epicenter of a situation. And I say they're on the epicenter of a situation because it could go either way. Yep. You know what I mean? If this thing stays the course, we may be walking into a historic moment to where we see this thing coming to fruition. But I just want every school to be like that without even having to get to that degree. Like, if we want better for our programs, HBCUs, it's our money that's got to be able to do that. So that's why they need y'all. They need everybody at these games to pack these jokers out and to participate not only in the football games, but basketball games too. Turn them into situations to where we go into these environments and it's tough to play. Like, get your name on that list. But you won't see stuff like that happening, man, unless they start detaching for that.
If you really think about it too, like, look at Alcorn. Alcorn is in the, Alcorn basically in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
They have their own game experience. Like, people go there to their game, they don't leave their game. They stay from the first to the fourth quarter.
Cause ain't nothing else going on in
town. But they gonna go to their game. They're gonna be out there tailgating. They're gonna eat. They're gonna have fun. They're gonna watch a good football game.
It's a ritual.
They're gonna be involved in the game. And that's the thing about it. Alcorn fans are more involved in their game and more involved in that football team than you would see other schools in the SWAC, other than Jackson State, other than, let's say, FAMU, other than Southern. And that's pretty much about it. Cause nobody else has that type of experience like that. Because if you what's that?
I want to bring up a point that Sean that brought up, but saying about domination. I totally agree with domination. So if Jackson State continues on this path of domination as far as the football and the women's basketball, what they're doing, great things with the women's basketball, and also with the new coach coming in the men's basketball, elevating that program. Do you think that Jackson State will leave the SWAC?
Man, to be real with you, if I'm Jackson State, I'm looking to improve Jackson State.
Yep.
And that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm concerned about the SWAC. or any other school. I'm concerned about the affairs of Jackson State. I can take my HBCU into another conference and be like NCC and be like A&T. But the thing is, A&T, what they're missing is a Deion Sanders.
Yep.
They don't have that guy. Whatever they got going on, they ain't got that guy. That guy gives you an opportunity to be seen on a bigger stage, meaning that it ain't just going into a different FCS conference. It's the potential to bargain myself up into brighter lights, which means that I can potentially take a group of 5 offer, right? Because you match with the right group of 5, you bring Prime into that environment.
Yep.
The first thing his kids are going to think, especially when he's recruiting, is the floodgates have opened budget-wise.
Yep.
I can now build my own brand here. And now I can look at extending my career a little bit further and not looking for a bigger job because I'm able to get them big boy recruits. Now I'm threatening the Power 5.
Yep.
I can't get on the schedule to play none of them. I'm out recruiting them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? I'm still at Jackson State. I'm just in a group of 5 environment. Now I got donors, but I need boosters. So if my boosters ain't there, I'm gonna be able to get it through my donors, but I still need my boosters. So it's a whole lot. Like, man, it's a tricky game, bro. Like we don't use our minds and our money wisely. We don't use our mind and money wisely, man. We play ourselves. And I think that we're gonna watch over the next year or two Jackson State do something that nobody else thought that they initially could do, change the landscape of HBCU football and further it and put itself somewhere where it needs to be. And I'm proud of Ashley Robinson and Prime for saying F the Southern Heritage Classic. Why? Because the way the deal's negotiated. Yep. I wouldn't even want to be a part of the SWAC because of the way the deal's negotiated. Like, bro, we just made the SWAC when Prime came in and then everything else got to roll and a little bit more attention got put on it. That was the perfect opportunity to renegotiate some options.
Yep.
If they're there, you got to ride out an ESPN contract. Who knows how long that is? You know what I'm saying? Then you done gave Brian 10 years on some HBCU Go stuff, and that's you in year 1 of that. You know what I'm saying? And it's a bad deal. The brand is worth more than the money that he got. Right. So it's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of everything, man. But you gotta get your house in order, like the stealing the money and reallocating the funds and all of that. It's accountability that go into all of that. We want these schools to be better. We keep complaining about the state not sending out money, but what if the programs had their own bank accounts to where they can front the student loan money, the Pell grants and stuff like that, and then make it up on the back end with the state school, with the state funding.
Hey, I mean, me, Mike. I don't know. I didn't. Well, I might have said that, but I don't think it's 70%. But I know that the promoters for the State Fair Classic get a buku lot of money because you mixing in the State Fair Classic with the State Fair that goes on right now. Like, just look at this Saturday. Red River rivalry, Texas versus OU.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, it's gonna be 92,000 people up in there. Half of them gonna be burnt orange. The other half gonna be crimson and white.
And Texas ain't got a winning record, and Oklahoma look like trash.
Record either. And guess what? Them folks gonna come out to that game already gonna be drunk because them fools gonna pregame around about 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning before the game even start. And the game starts at 11. And it's gonna be, bro, it's gonna be packed. So you got that mixed in, and guess what? They generate that game alone generates over probably about $100 million. Guess how much they take for each school? Texas probably get maybe about 10. OU probably get about 10. And then the rest of it goes towards some of it goes to the conference, the rest of it goes towards the state fair, the city. Because it's like that's a classic for the white folks right there. And like I said, I'm not into the classic, but I'm there because I want to watch good football. But they take amount of money. Because if you really think about it, 54,000 people came in to watch that game. A ticket was $32. For a ticket that's $32 for 54,000 people, that's $1.72 million that they made off ticket sales. That ain't counting the merchandise that they sell, that they have the vendors come out there and sell for, because the vendors gonna keep they're gonna keep the majority of their money. They ain't giving none of that stuff to the schools unless they feel like they want to. And the promoter's gonna take the rest of it. It's just like we said, like we got to start doing these bad business practices.
But
and we got to start waking up.
I could understand with HBCU Go when they negotiated that contract that they didn't try to get a lot more, in the power position that they were in.
But with the swag, they didn't have too much of a position at the time. They have one now because Prime there.
Yeah, but HBCU Go was negotiated this year, wasn't it?
Was that?
Was the HBCU Go negotiated this year?
It was negotiated this year. It was negotiated early this year. And I think, then Scotty talk about that, Sean. He talked about that on the show too.
Yeah, he went into that. He
went into that. He broke down the contract, like, bro. He went down.
Yeah, it's trash.
Man,
it's trash, bro.
That ESPN deal was trash too.
Every deal they do is trash. I think dude getting his money on the back end, and nobody's gonna be able to figure that out because that money go right on into that account. Ain't got nothing to do with the sweat. It's in somebody else's name, and then there's probably some reroutes. Straight up, I could swear the commissioner I think the sweat commissioner, he gets a percentage of whatever bad deal he do, bro. The SWAC will get a percentage of that money, and then he'll get an undercut. So like if the HBCU Go the viewership does something, I guarantee you he gets spiffed.
So that's almost a definition of a sellout.
Yeah. Yep. Well, he's selling out to his own brother, man. But yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is just my I can't say that that's what's happening, but that's my take on it. I think that I ain't dumb, bro. I don't hustle backwards. I don't think no man on this earth is designed to hustle backwards. Every man is looking for an opportunity to land that big deal and say, look what we did. Look what I did for the sake of, the conference. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just would think that this guy's built like that, right? But if he ain't in some money and he shouldn't have never been a commissioner. They need people more business savvy, or the SWAC as a whole need a conference business team.
Yeah, but it's always gonna be that's something I always gonna talk about though, man. But I'm about to call it for a day. When tomorrow, I don't have too much anything for tomorrow, but Thursday is week 6 preview. And we previewed the game of the week, which is FAMU versus Prairie View versus Southern. I'm about to say FAMU versus Prairie View versus Southern this coming weekend. And also Friday is Be I Love Friday, and we'll preview Jackson State's game matchup against Alabama State. Woo! I got some. I'm gonna laugh at that one. So everybody at Jackson State or even the Jacktown Jew or just Jackson all around, man, just come on the stream on Friday at 7:30. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna talk about the game. Yeah, we're gonna talk about what Prime said in the coaching call, because that one was funny right there.
I just want to change the subject, because we're all great football fans here, I believe. I just want to get a basic opinion from you, gentlemen. Is that, an NFL, just the NFL with nothing to do with SWAC rate, just something quick I just said. Because the NFL plays its games, I can never understand. They talk about player safety. Obviously I'm talking about the Tua situation. They talk about player safety, but they play a Sunday, then they got to play a Thursday. How concerned are they really about players? That's just something that I had to bring up. I just want to hear you guys' opinion.
Bro, they've been doing that for the longest, though.
Yeah.
They've been doing that for the longest. Like
for the love of that.
Yeah.
You got to play that Bone Thugs, man.
They've been doing that for the longest, especially since they had added Thursday night football.
I want y'all to think about this. All the technology in the world, and they still ain't slow the concussions.
Nah.
They didn't change the helmets. They didn't add extra padding in the helmets. They didn't added some sensors in the helmets to detect certain things. You know what I'm saying? They got all this science in these helmets, bro, and these helmets still can't stop the collision. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So ultimately the protocol got to be a little bit more stricter. That's a fact. And investing in a backup quarterback that could win football games just got to increase. And right now, if Dak returns and Cowboys continue to win, Jerry Jones will end up having to pay his backup a little bit more money because he has value.
Yep.
And Dak's,
go ahead.
No, I just think that's the direction that the game has to go. Like, you're going to need to your point, like, they don't care. But when they start caring, now that there's an emphasis on it, especially after Tua, and it was seen on a big stage, and the NFL looks like, you know what I'm saying, it's a very bad look for the NFL. You're going to start seeing teams with 2 quarterbacks. And you're going to have 2 quarterbacks to compete, because if one get knocked on down, they gone for 2 weeks. It's going to be too automatic.
Yeah, but I always thought having a Thursday night game, there's a simpler way of doing that. If you have division, so if on your bye week or before your bye week you have a Thursday game, then everybody in the conference doesn't play until the following they have another 10 days off. If they have a bye week, they can schedule it that way, so they don't have to play a Sunday then a Thursday game, where it's only 4 days off. It's just ridiculous. That's why I think the NFL Players Association is the worst union in professional sports.
Wait till they play. Wait till Thanksgiving, because Cowboys play on a Sunday, then they turn around and play on a Thursday, and then they don't play back until the following Sunday.
It happened for every team, so it's fair.
Yeah, it is fair because they try to.
But there's a better way of doing it, though, Sean. There's a better way of doing it, though.
I mean, it's a better way of doing a lot of things. Hell, the NBA said, the players for the NBA was like they want to play back to back games, road games like that. But like, dude's been doing that for years. like to me, I feel like some. I mean, with something like that with the NBA, and I understand it's an 82 game schedule, and then now you got a play-in. You know what I'm saying? You got a play-in game. Um. Most dudes want to be like where they was in college. You're only playing like 30, like say you're only getting like 30 games. So you're out, so you play like a Saturday, you don't play until like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and then you play back on another you play back on the Saturday. They kind of want it like that. Like you really can't do it like that because you have so many games, and then you got dudes that be taking off, especially like important games like LeBron Thomas, if you got LeBron, you got, let's say, okay, for example, Mavericks play.
Nah, don't say no LeBron. Say Kawhi Leonard.
No,
Don't say
I'm,
LeBron.
I'm not putting an example. I ain't saying LeBron.
Oh, okay,
I know you're a
okay.
LeBron fan, but I'm just saying. So like this Christmas, you got the Mavericks versus the Lakers, right? So you got Luka versus LeBron. Let's just say LeBron decided that he didn't want to play on Christmas Day. That throws out the whole, that throws the whole dynamic off because they sent it they sent it
Bro,
everything
listen.
down these two specific players.
Stay right there. So LeBron was supposed to come play in Memphis. The year that they had the bubble championship. LeBron was supposed to play in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
When I went to purchase the tickets, the seats that I had was $280, and I was trying to get 5 because LeBron was going to be there.
Yeah.
I waited and didn't get the tickets then. The next day, he was not playing. The ticket price went down to $78.
Yeah.
I said that to speak to your point that, he raised ticket prices and attendance, and he's a must see. And so if he declines that, the NBA loses the money that they could have made off of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not too much because you're still gonna sell the regular tickets if it's the event is like that, the team that they're playing against is like that. But you know what I'm saying? You would have made a little bit more money, you know what I mean, in a small market area because that's going to Memphis, a small market area. So, they cap if them big league elite players come, they cap it at a certain number for certain ticket rolls for you to be able to do it. If you still on the floor, they don't try to bust your head, but they want about 10,000. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like LA where you paying 20, 30, 40, 50, $100,000 seats. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. But yeah, so if he don't play, the NBA lose out on maximizing their potential.
Yeah. But anyway, we just gonna go ahead. Like I said, Friday.
And everything Mr. Campbell said.
We got I Love Friday. Like I said, Jack Stay all day, every day. So everybody tune in for that. Might have somebody come on the show for that show right there. And Saturday is doing the pregame early, in the morning time before I head to work. So I'll be previewing the Prairie View versus Southern matchup, pregame for that, and also man, I'm gonna give shout outs to my wife. She might be asleep, but she would, she stays in the chat. Give a shout out to you, Brian, for jumping in, coming on every Tuesday for this right here. Like I said, making it every Tuesday thing. Shout out to Mr. Campbell, Unc, for making sure that I'm on my P's and Q's when it comes to the YouTube content. Got to stay on point. Got to stay on point. Upcoming events, like I said, Saturday is my birthday, so I'm pretty much not gonna do a post game show on Saturday night. So I'm just gonna go out there and enjoy myself for my birthday. If you want to, make sure y'all can bless the Cash App. I got the Cash App handle at the bottom. Also, if you want to donate for the channel, the Cash App handle is at the bottom. I take cash. We take Cash App. We take Venmo. We take Zelle. No, I don't take Venmo. I take Zelle. I take Cash App. Take PayPal. But other than that, that's not too much of anything going on. Just all the shows going on, and just my birthday. I got you, man. I got you. Carolina hat. I got you. And if I, we get that working out. I get it for you, bro. I got you. But other than that, tomorrow is no show. But okay, hit me on text me when after the show. Other than that, I don't have a show on Wednesday, but if any type of news or anything comes out on Wednesday, then I will report it, no matter where I'm at. And last but not least, still going. I will be next game I'll be at is homecoming for Jackson State versus Campbell. That is October the 22nd. So I will be in Jackson, and I will probably do a live show at somebody's tailgate. It don't matter. Or more likely, I will hook up with Ken Clark and Zoe in the crew from the 1400 Club. We can Tiger Talk. We do a show from where combined show from that, and trying to get, like I said, trying to get this thing going. It's the road to 400 subscribers. After that, we're gonna go to 500. We're gonna make this show. We're gonna make this show a hit. We're gonna make it a success because I believe that we can make this a success. But anything you got to say, Brian, before we roll up?
Yes. So before we roll on, I want to thank you always again for having me on, and I'd just like to tell everybody out there to subscribe. And when you subscribe, why don't you share what I'm going to challenge people to subscribe, and also going to challenge people to share it with 5 friends. So share with 5 friends, and that way, it's going to make the show grow even bigger. And so that way, we can keep on supporting Doc and is getting the great contact that he's bringing here. And let's dig into our pockets and bless this man for his show, and also let's bless him. Saturday, October 8th is his birthday. The man's turning 43. Even though he's a Cowboy fan, I don't hold that against him.
Yep, I'm a Cowboys fan. Don't hold nothing against me. Don't hold nothing against me. But I'm a Braves fan too when it comes to baseball. So my Braves is going out there, they doing their thing. So we gonna take the World Series again, get that champ. We're gonna get that chip again. But I'm your boy Doc Holliday. That is my guy Brian Johnson. This is another HBCU OverDrive, HBCU Tonight show, and we are out. Till next time, make sure y'all go out there and subscribe and become a member of the hottest, newest show on YouTube dealing with HBCU content. And I thank all my members. I thank all the members that's there, that's rocking with me, that's been rocking with me. I love y'all. Y'all make me excited to do this every day, or any time of the day. And I'm gonna rock with y'all too. I'm gonna rock with y'all to the end. All right. But until next time, I'm out of here, y'all. Till next time. Peace.